Elementary School number 3.
In a moment, we will land at Pioneer Square in front of the elementary school number 3. Nearly 2,000 children were studying here. It was the most modern of all 5 elementary schools in Pripyat.
Indoctrination was a crucial element of the education. From early on, children were taught about the creators of communism, the leading role of the party, and the foundations of the socialist society. The teachers instilled a total submission of the individual and the collectivization of the actions. Such classrooms were indispensable in all the republics of the Soviet Union or the countries of the Eastern Bloc, such as East Germany or Poland. Walk around and learn more about the education in the Soviet Union. Music lessons played an important role in the children and youth education. The most talented children were sent to school bands and choirs, which took part in the national competitions and festivals. Find the interactive objects to know more, or to listen to one of the most popular songs from those times, Crocodile Pienia. Meetings, concerts, and artistic work reviews, as well as the whole school's cultural life, took place in here. In fact, every day various groups held their meetings and rehearsals here. Mathematics was the basic. Somewhere in here, you will find a wooden case. Open it carefully. Scrapyard. Scrapyard. In the area of the exclusion zone, there are several scrapyards with the vehicles and machines used during firefighting and neutralizing action after the explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The majority of the vehicles and machines used in the action were not suitable for further use due to the high radiation. Unfortunately, more and more often, because of the value of scrap metal, illegal scrap collectors are stealing and selling valuable components of the vehicles and machinery. Back to Pripyat. Moscow Eye.
In a moment, we are going to land in the base of the strategic over-the-horizon radar, Duga-2, also known as the Moscow Eye.
The Duga-2 radar began its work in July 1976. The radar was used to detect the ballistic missiles with the nuclear warheads over the territory of the Soviet Union. Back to Pripyat. The radar was able to detect the start of ballistic missiles from the northeastern parts of the United States. About 1,000 of specialists from various fields were needed to deal with it. The entire installation was top secret, guarded by the Soviet elite Spetsnaz units. There are a lot of conspiracy theories about the Moscow Eye. Some say that the antennas were used to cause storms anywhere in the world, and others about manipulating people's minds with the radio waves. No fact supports these theories, and the original long-range missile detection system of the radar seems to be true.
In a minute, you will be standing on the top of the antenna. You can have a walk, but be careful. Rusty construction may be dangerous.
What you hear is the transmission received by the antenna you're standing on. The signal disturbed the short connectivity and was called the Russian woodpecker after the disaster of the reactor number 4. Due to the interference caused by the radiation, the Moscow Eye was turned off forever. The Duga 2 radar began its work in July 1976. Back to Pripyat. Parishiv village.
In a minute, we are going to land in the Parishiv village. This is one of the 76 villages in the zone of exclusion that was evacuated within a few days after the explosion.
In order to understand how people had lived before and what happened to these houses which are located in Parishiv, I suggest that you go and see a house which hasn't had owners for more than 29 years. Soon it's going to be 30. Soon after the explosion, the authorities ordered the evacuation of all people within 30 kilometers of the plant. Over 130,000 people from the surrounding towns and villages had to leave their homes. Some of the residents have returned and have been living in these abandoned places to this day. Find the old case and get to know the story of Ivan Ivanovich. Tell us a few words about how you live here and about the year you were out. Indeed, we left only for 1 year, and then we heard the comment, go back home. We left everything and came back here. There were 140 people who came back to the town. There was a witness for each home. We were told, seize the houses so that no one... Back to Pripyat. Amusement park.
Prepare for landing at the amusement park. Shortly after the catastrophe, this place was an airstrip for helicopters participating in removing the effects of the reactor's explosion.
The amusement park in Pripyat was never open for the public. It was built in 1985, but in the Soviet Union nothing could be opened just like that. So the official opening was planned for the holiday of the 1st May in 1986. However, as we already know, a few days earlier there was the explosion.
1 мая 1986 года в городе должно быть такое
On the
знаковое
1st of
событие,
May
должен был
1986,
открыться
the town was supposed to host a significant event.
собственный парк
The town
аттракционов.
first amusement park was going to be opened.
Для такого небольшого города, который имеет уже достаточно такую инфраструктуру,
I believe a Ferris wheel was supposed to be the biggest attraction of the amusement park. 20 gondolas were to carry up to 80 people. They could have admired the panoramic view of the city at 20 meters. There are rumors that the amusement park was opened shortly after the explosion to distract people from the disaster, but no one can confirm this information, and the preserved archival materials indicate that only a trial test was run before the scheduled opening. Back to Pripyat. Flat.
Pripyat was the most modern city in the former Soviet Union. The city was founded as the settlement for the workers of the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant.
You are now in a typical flat of the nuclear power plant worker. On just a few dozen square meters, a family and social life was taking place. At that time, the flat was very comfortable. It indicated a high social status and was considered to be a luxury. Look around and find the interactive objects to learn more about the evacuation of Pripyat. Attention, attention. Dear comrades, the City Council of People's Deputies reports on the unfavorable radiation situation in the town of Pripyat in connection with the accident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The party, government bodies and military units are taking all necessary measures. However, in order to ensure a complete safety of the people, and children in particular, there is a temporal need to evacuate the residents to settlements in the Kiev region. To do this, today on the 27th of April, Flat.